So, hey guys, today we're going to take a little bit of a look at ban list and seeing exactly what archetypes are still hit. So, we have at the moment, we'll just go through all of the semi limits and also the limited cards. So, we have Snake Eye Ash, we have Extrazial, we have Millennium being hit, with specifically Golem being put to 1. So Millennium, I don't really care too much about. It's just that this deck is actually just kind of annoying, honestly. So the thing about like Millennium, this isn't actually going to be regarding any of the Millennium cards. I think the most annoying thing is actually Ankh itself. Like if you're actually playing against this list, right? How do we deal with Ankh? So that shows 5 guys, and then it special summons a guy from your extra deck. Simply put. So, can you Ash this if it's already in your opponent's hand? No. Imperm? No. Can you Imperm the Exodia? No. Can you Ash the effect of that Exodia guy activating? No. Because it sets a trap. So, nothing you can really do about that. And because of how its effect resolves, you can't really interact with this at all. So, if your Millennium opponent just hard opens this, nothing you can actually do about this. So, that's a bit frustrating. And then this is basically one of the only good cards in the sense that this is actually useful going second. So being limited here, that that kind of blows a little bit here, and then Snake Eye Ash is just well, it's just a good card, I guess, in this case. Tenpai being hit here with the Trundra. I think it's kind of annoying, but I don't know. We'll revisit Tenpai after I finish checking through all these guys. This hit is like super justifiable, honestly, because technically you do need Soul Piercer to do the combos for the super heavy samurai combos, but also at the same time, like this card has no hard ones per turn, no ones per turn or anything. So yeah, this card can kind of be Ash Blossom Joe Spring by itself, you know, just normal summon Soul Piercer, link off Soul Piercer. If you Ash Soul Piercer effect to search, then we can just bring this back with the Scarecrow, and then we can link it off again. And then this allows you to just do the search for like Wakushi. And then if you start Wakushi as well, like that's also kind of hard to stop. And you can't hold your Ash Blossom for later because you can make a Baron as like one of the first things you do before kind of committing to the rest of the combo. So yeah, that's pretty justifiable, I guess. Uh, Proceeding with these, like honestly, Celiac is kind of a disgusting card with how this operates. Yeah. The Kashtura cards being limited, it makes sense. Yeah. Anything else? Rapier. Let's see. If this card is normal summon, you can send a Zodiac card from your deck to the graveyard. And XYZ monster whose original type is Beast Warrior, and as this card as XYZ material gains this effect. Soft once per turn, you can detach 1 material from this card, special summon a Rapier from your hand or deck. I have no idea what you Foolish Burial here, honestly. I don't think there was a really good Foolish Burial target for Rapier. The main thing is this being like soft once per turn, so you can like go into any Zodiac, and then you can special summon Rapier. And then if you were able to technically shuffle the Rapier as well, could you just summon even more Zodiac cards like this? I think there was a Zodiac graveyard effect, right? This one. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 5 Zodiac cards in your graveyard with different names, shuffle a 5 into the deck, then draw 1 card. Could you do that with Rapier? I mean, you'd have 3 Rapiers, and then what? Oh wait, Rapier? Is that on special summon? No, that's only on the normal summon that does the Foolish Burial, so this would only put you at like 4. No, it could maybe put you to 5 actually. If you linked off some of the XYZ monsters, you could trigger, I guess, the graveyard effect of combo. to put back these guys and then keep going into like Zodiac cards, but you do have a limited amount of Zodiac cards, so that'd be a dumbass link climb, I guess. I don't know if it's doable with only 2 Rapier, but yeah, it's fine, I guess. Inspector Border. I mean, yeah. Stun has like a place in the game, but it doesn't have too strong of a place. So yeah, better to keep this at 1 and still legal, I guess. So anything else archetypal? We have like Maiden, Malice, Runic Fountain. Anything else significant? Like that, there isn't actually anything significantly hit at the moment. If you actually look at this, believe it or not, I don't think, right? If we check the ban cards, maybe that changes. We don't have that many ban cards actually. Let's see if we have anything archetypal here that really matters. There's basically just Merely I see at the moment. Let's change to unlimited real quick. Oh right, now there are no ban cards. Great. So let's see. Them. Can we? Yeah, we can't drag this over. Okay, we'll just have to look then. Nothing archetypal, right? Yeah, there's really nothing archetypal that's banned, except for like pretty much just Merely, right? I mean, if you account like for Gimmick Puppet Nightmare, but like even Gimmick Puppet players don't want to be Gimmick Puppet locked, honestly. So you're honestly doing people a favor by banning this card. And then we have like Mjolnir and Scythe, which are kind of just floodgates. So outside of pretty much just floodgate specific cards, we have Snake Eye Oak being banned and Merly. And then Nightmare Corruptor Ibly. I mean, you can kind of say it's a Nightmare card, but it's also just a floodgate. Aside from like pretty much just specifically floodgates, nothing is really banned here, right? Well, at least at the moment. So alright, let's take a look at these cards. So Fenrir is hit because you can specifically do Fenrir add Fenrir, and then it just becomes like complete nonsense. So I opened a Fenrir, right? That in and of itself is not that much of a problem, but if I special summon Fenrir and then add Fenrir, that's like Fenrir for follow up. That's like Fenrir that we use to discard. So we essentially get a free body because we just luckily opened Fenrir and didn't open the second Fenrir as well. So yeah, it's just dumb, basically. That describes Fenrir. And then Golem that guards the Millennium Treasures. Genuinely, this is a question mark for me, dog. Yeah, this searches Wedju, and this searches Golem, which can grab you the Wedju, and then you can do kind of a combo with this. They didn't actually hit anything with that combo in particular. They just specifically hit the Golem, which is like, okay, I guess, because Sync Engine can still just add itself. So I'm not really sure what it accomplishes. It might just annoy maybe some Millennium players a little bit, but they still have like decent amount of consistency cards, honestly. You have that one Blue Eyes cards, you have like Wedju Temples. Like, I think you're still kind of chilling. Probably not a big deal. Tenpai, they just absolutely murdered Tenpai. But I mean, this isn't the only going second deck that exists. This just happened to be very popular, I'd say. So, it's just, I guess, not that great of a matchup, like the meta to Tenpai at the time. But depending on the meta, like Tenpai could actually not be that great, honestly. Kind of depends, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, the main thing about this is that Chundra is a pretty gross card sometimes. So, what hand trap works against Chundra? Basically none. So normal summon Chundra, nothing you can do about any of the Chundra effects. Special summon Chundra, yeah, nothing you can really do about that either. So yeah, it becomes kind of cooked if your opponent just hard opened the Chundra. So yeah, that sucks, I guess, basically. A lot of the cards here are very uninteractive and very hard to deal with to an extent, but like Numeron's also like that. So kind of iffy feelings on this one. So we'll just ignore this half for now. And we'll go to Malice now. And yeah, I mean, there's not much interaction you can do with Dormouse, except for like Imperm on Dormouse. Can't Ash Dormouse. If Dormouse gets banished, not too much you can do about that either. So yeah, that kind of sucks. Well, did they put Sage back to 3? I'm not even sure. I don't think I saw Sage earlier, so it must be back to 3, I think. Oh well, don't quote me on that, but okay. This is kind of annoying, honestly. Because you have made enough light, this sets True Light. True Light can then grab you Wishes. Wishes can then be resolved, and this does not cost your normal summon to do so at all. And this grabs just a lot of things in general. Even if you don't grab Wishes, it's still pretty decent. Just in general. The Maiden of Light, but it's not like as bad as any of the other cards on the list. Like honestly, in terms of like the cards that are actually hit here, this is the least worst one. And I kind of forgot about Runic Fountain, but like, yeah, I mean, with the lack of any back row interaction in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh, and considering there's no side deck as well in Master Duel, right? What the hell are you supposed to do about Runic or any kind of somewhat back row centric cast strategy? Like even with Sky Striker, if you're doing a Sky Striker mirror, like what can you do to the other player realistically when all of your interactions are mostly like monster related? So yeah, not really great. And then we go to Snake Eye Ash here. Well, let's think for a second. Snake Eye Ash. Why is this still at 1? I guess like in terms of normal summon, this was like one of the better normal summons. Do you have anything else for a normal summon? With Snake Eye, no. You never had any good normal summons aside from like Snake Eye Ash. You only did Snake Eye Poplar because you had no other normal summon, I believe. Just yeah. The line that you would take, I guess, would be like you still have Theo Bellstar plus 1 Secret Simple Spells. You just had too high consistency, I guess. So that's why we had to like kind of limit these cards, I guess. That's kind of fair, I guess. Yeah, Ryzel kind of got butchered on the same level as Snake Eye. So now it's kind of inconsistent, but actually your consistency tools are still worse than like what Snake Eye has. So don't you still have a lot of options actually to get into this? I believe so, right? Technically, you have like the Asamiya stuff as well. If you want to do that, you have Deception, and then this can get you to Asamina Ilias Sylvia and Murcielago, which can get you into Diabell Star, or this gets you into. Well, wait. Yeah, no, this can get you into Diabell Star, because this can get you Wanted, right? And that goes into Diabell Star. Diabell Star grabs you Original Sinful, or you can just grab Original Sinful, I think, off of this. And I mean, either works, honestly. But yeah, you just do that, and you get access to Snake Eye Ash. You don't really have anything like that for X. I guess the consistency is too good or something. Like, why Snake Eye still hit? I don't remember, genuinely. Does Snake Eye even, like, would this have even competed with, like, Malice or Ryzeal? Genuinely no clue. Like at this point, I'm getting amnesia about Snake Eye, and I don't even remember what this deck supposedly did or does. Because I remember whenever this was considered meta, it was still kind of like a meh kind of deck. It didn't feel like that bad. And I mean, now that Apollosa is banned, legitimately, what does this deck even do? So no idea on that. But yeah, I mean, all of the cards that are hit at the moment in terms of just like limited or semi-limited, it feels like mostly just consistency hits and nothing else to really prevent a deck from being played except for this one. They really don't want you messing around with Rapier. And I mean, with Soul Piercer being at 1, this actually doesn't like affect the combo, it just affects like hand trap resistance with this specific deck, I guess, for the most part. So these don't really do anything in conclusion. If we go back further, right, we had hits to decks that actually did essentially nothing. So we had Orcus for a long time being hit and being completely unplayable. You had like one of Harp and like one Gearsu. And yeah, that no idea what you were supposed to do with these guys regardless for a long ass time. Like I feel like we could have had full power tier limit, but we still at the time well, I'm not sure exactly when these guys were finally back to 3, but can you imagine having like full power tier limit and then we have just like one of Harp Horror? Like, bruh. Well, something like that, right? Well, it didn't have to be necessarily tier limit exactly, but you know, just imagine some powerful list, and then you have Orcus, which was released in like what year? What year was Orcus released in? I don't know. It was like prehistoric ages compared to where we're at now, and they only just recently got their support with the this thing and that thing. So yeah, it's just giga insanely awkward. And because they were hit for so long, there's also the fact that during all of the metas where they would have been kind of like fair, right? You were never able to experience like certain matchups, which kind of just sucks, right? So, for example, let's say, well, I actually can't even remember a single deck from that point in time, like between Tearlament and like Eldlick. I just have like a missing gap in memory at this point in time. Like, what the hell was meta at that point in time? No idea. But are you saying like Tri Brigade? I can't play my Orcus against, for example, Tri Brigade. Like, is that too unreasonable? I don't think Orcus is that much better than like Tri Brigade or anything like that, right? Zodiac was also kind of like Giga hit, I believe. I mean, now that I think about it, this card has been unlimited for quite a while. We have like Zodiac Barrage. This only targets face ups though. If this targeted face downs, this would be like playable and maybe Unchained, I'm thinking. Maybe, kind of. Would this be useful for anything? Maybe not, but meh. Despite that being able to get you kind of like a free Trident, this special summon a Trident for whatever reason, you still don't play that. Kind of whack, kind of crazy. And yeah, with these cards as well, it's like, yeah, they weren't really that good, were they? And then we also had like Magispector Kieran, technically. Like, if you were a big fan of Magispector, um, you just weren't really able to play them until kind of recently-ish when they unbanned the Kieran, which I'm not even sure how you were supposed to get access to Kieran, honestly. Because of its level, like, you couldn't even pen summon it. You can't even summon it off of Majesty's Pegasus, like, how are you supposed to access Kieran? So much confusion. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess we can at least thank the Master Duel ban list that, like, every single archetype is at least playable. If if it's playable, I guess you can still make the deck and play it. It's just like maybe not like insanely great at the moment, but I guess it is still better than before, where like we had random archetypes just hit for no reason, and then it just never gets taken off the ban list for whatever reason. I would have to like double check, for example, like with how Virtual World and Tri Brigade were hit for like the longest time, where you had like it was like limited or semi-limited fractal or something, and we even had like Phantom Knight hits. I like when in the world and why did we have like one or two copies of Torn Scales for like the longest time? No idea with why we had that either, but you know, it was just a thing, I guess. But yeah. Was Phantom Knights really the problem between like what year was Master Duel released in, like 2023 or something? So like are you telling me between like uh, 2023 and 2024, like 6 of the months, that our our meta and all that was saved by like Torn Scales at 2, when the only time you would have seen Torn Scales being played is when we got the adventure stuff. So we had like adventure PK being kind of an option, but then you know we still had like Hulk and stuff to go into like Halcyon combos. Did we have a tuner here in Phantom Knights even? I mean, you could discard Jet, I guess. Did we even go into Hulk in Phantom Knights? I genuinely don't remember. I don't think so, but like still, you could have maybe went into it. How about like Prankids? Did Prankids even get hit? Wait, Prankids never got hit, did it? Huh. So I mean, yeah, I guess nothing really is hit at the moment that makes your deck literally unplayable. Which I mean, technically, I think that's a good thing, right? So if we were to, for example, ban or Ice Heart, like what is Kashtira actually supposed to do? I think you just set macro and pass. If you happen to open macro, that's about it. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys today, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.